In 2004, a sprightly young 30-year-old named Ken Jennings joined Jeopardy! He went on a 74-game winning streak, an unbroken, unblemished record of dominance. Congrats, Ken! You did it, buddy! Hang up your buzzer and ride off into the sunset. But wait, there's more. 1 year later, Ken came back and took second in the Jeopardy! Ultimate Tournament of Champions. Nice to see you again, pal. And 6 years after that, he lost to Watson, an AI, in the IBM Challenge. Tough break, but good luck in the future, now that you're done with Jeopardy! And 3 years after that, he was runner-up in the Jeopardy! Battle of the Decades. And 5 years later, he was a team captain in the Jeopardy! All-Star Games, still second place. In 2020, Ken Jennings finally took the crown in the greatest of all-time tournament. And now, he's Jeopardy's permanent host. This man loves the game. It's been part of his life for over 20 years. But for high school and college speech and debate competitors, it seems like the only way they can stay in the arena is by becoming coaches. They don't get an adult speech and debate league or tournament of champions or special challenge. Or do they? Welcome to the Athens Talk Public Speaking Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Lampert. I'm a professional public speaking coach who's helped students earn over 1,500 championships. Every episode, we dive into a public speaking competition and tell you what it is, why it matters, and the strategies you need to succeed. This is episode 4, Professional Acting. Just like quiz enthusiasts graduate from high school and college quiz bowls to face off in professional championships and TV shows like Jeopardy! Or The Chase, the world of speech and debate has taken a step into the professional arena. In 2020, a visionary coach named Blake Longfellow asked an important question. Why should speech and debate stop at college? With that, the Professional Speech and Debate Association, or Pro-SDA, was born. The Pro-SDA kicked off online amidst the pandemic. It began with 4 categories. Today, we'll explore one of them, professional acting. This category seems straightforward. Contestants have 10 minutes to present a monologue. They can use props. Judges evaluate them based on the script's cutting, which is how well the piece is edited to make sense within 10 minutes, the depths of characterization, and the effectiveness of blocking, which is how the performer uses their space. Why participate in professional acting? It's a great way to receive feedback on your writing and performance skills. You can adapt an existing work or craft an original piece. I've seen really powerful performances, from a monologue by an emergency room nurse during the pandemic to original poetry about being Black in America. Typically, a performance begins with up to 2 minutes of the script. Then they break character and the actor explains their choice of piece. And then they'll dive back into the remainder of the performance. Up to this point, there have been over 20 Pro-SDA competitions. I was there in the first 6 back in 2020. My wife went in for the next 6. It was one of the most enjoyable and eye-opening experiences of lockdown, so I'm happy to share it with you. How do you win professional acting? First, use the space creatively. In an online setting, play with the camera to create moments of distance or intimacy. In person, use choreography to illustrate different aspects of the narrative. Second, portray more than one character. You want a central protagonist whose journey we're following, but you should also shift your voice and delivery to embody others within that character's story. Last, choose a piece with real-world impact. Your message must be meaningful. My championship performance was an adaptation of The Man Who Couldn't Stop by David Adam. It discussed my own struggles with obsessive-compulsive disorder and connected them to the writers. The structure of this performance is vital. You start strong with an image from the story. You explain why the piece matters. You put in some humor from the piece to be relatable. You build to the climax, the most important moment in the piece. And you conclude with a touch of optimism. So I started with a scene from the book where the main character cuts his finger at a public swimming pool and goes into a spiral about how he might be infected with a disease. That's contamination OCD. Then I gave my intro. I remember it. It went, obsessive-compulsive disorder is the fourth most common mental disorder. The World Health Organization has ranked it as the 10th most disabling medical condition. But people with OCD typically wait over a decade before finding help. It took me until my late 20s to finally seek support and intervention for my OCD. Thanks to therapy, I'm speaking up to increase awareness of a stigmatized and misunderstood disability, to express solidarity with other patients, and to thank those in my life who've helped me through the journey, especially my wife. The Man Who Couldn't Stop, a true story by David Adam. After that intro, we go back into the piece. The main character talks about what initially triggered his contamination OCD. We see some scenes of him calling national helplines and not internalizing their advice. And we build to the climax, where he takes his daughter to the park and sees a scratch on her finger. And he fixates on how his little girl might be infected with something. And he starts spiraling, and it's getting out of control. And finally, he has a realization that he needs to commit to therapy and treatment so he doesn't pass on his anxieties to his children. It ends on a hopeful note. Performing that piece made a big impact on me. I didn't have the self-knowledge or the confidence to take on a script like this during high school or college, so professional acting was a great outlet. When the Pro SDA was first announced, there were some skeptics. They said, no, speech and debate, that's for high school, that's for college. These are the same kind of people who would tell Ken Jennings, leave trivia behind. Hang it up, you're done. But as Dr. Tommy Lindsay Jr., a coach emeritus of national champions, famously says, steel sharpens steel. Keep trying. Keep improving. And that's what the Pro SDA gave me the chance to do. Thanks to visionaries like Blake Longfellow, who created that league, and Aaron Fullman, who ran its competitions, I had a platform to compete and create community. And I'm grateful. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for joining me on the Authentalk Public Speaking Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review for more insights and strategies. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Ian Lampert, your public speaking professional.